Welcome back to First Things First. We're going viral. Rudy Gobert is one of the best defensive players in the NBA. Check him out taking on some kids in a little half-court action and showing zero mercy.
Now, I love this. I love when the NBA players against these kids. These kids are all jacked up and everything. They swear they're going to make this bucket. I'm sure the pros let them do it, but take that with you, because I know you're going to be bad for a long time.
It was very well received. That rejection, very well received.
I can see myself doing that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've done that.
Like in the football version or basketball?
Yeah, I'll bring kids over to the house shooting with Durant and everything, no problem. Ah, yeah, shoot, yeah, there you go. Get out of here. Take that, my son.
Okay. All right, good way to go get it, French rejection, Stifle Tower, Rudy Gobert. He going to win Defensive Player of the Year for things like that on NBA players. Much less
kids enjoy.
4-year-olds.
Yeah.
All right, time now for some stories to start in the morning.
Those look like the kids you were using their workout equipment.
Yeah, that was the race you were in.
But I wasn't competing with them. I borrowed it, used it, gave it back.
Okay.
This is brought to you by Ace, the helpful place. The Rockets won Game 5, but may have lost Chris Paul in the process. Injured his hamstring in the final minute, had to leave the court. His status now for Game 6 is unknown. Chris, do the Rockets still have a chance if CP3 can't go?
Absolutely. I mean, they're a championship team. Do they have a chance in game number 6? Yes, they do. They have the depth, even though they went to a shorter lineup rotation of 7 players. He's not the predominantly ball handler. They're not dependent on him to be their primary scorer. I believe his scoring and his ball handling can be replaced.
Listen, can they win one game without him? Yes, they can. They obviously would like to have him. I know when he was getting into his car yesterday, he said, I'm going to play. I talked to Daryl Morey at 3 in the morning. Status is unknown at the moment, at least as of 5 hours ago. It was the team did not yet know if he was going to be good to go for Game 6. I think everyone should hope he's good to go. We should be able to see these teams play at close to full strength as possible.
Hamstring's tough, CC.
It is. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tricky.
It's a new day, so you know what that means. Another career accomplishment for LeBron James. He was named to first-team All-NBA for the 12th time, passing Kobe Bryant and Karl Malone for the most selections in NBA history. Nick, how impressive is this accomplishment for
LeBron? From an individual standpoint, this is all you can ask an athlete is how high is your prime and how long do you stay there? The height of his prime is as high as any player we've ever seen, and the length of it is now longer than any player we've ever seen, save maybe Kareem. That's arguable. So, I mean, how long is 12 years? Jordan only played 11 full seasons in Chicago. LeBron's been one of the best forwards in the league 12 years, so it's a wild accomplishment.
Yeah, it is a huge accomplishment. It gets him to, what if he can get to 15? 15 times first team All-NBA, even if he didn't get to the GOAT as far as Michael Jordan with 6 championships. These are the things that LeBron James, it changes the conversation. These are the points that people would have to make that would try to represent LeBron as the greatest player. It would have to be longevity. It would have to be the height of his arc. And also, man, we haven't seen anyone do it for this long. So for me, I tell Nick all the time, this is the path to being the GOAT.
Damian Lillard was also named first-team All-NBA as a guard alongside the assumed MVP James Harden. Nick, should Lillard have made first-team All-NBA?
I think so. I don't think Russ's team was good enough for him to get there. Steph didn't play enough. Kyrie, CP3 didn't play enough. So a spot was available. Lillard led his team to the 3rd seed in the West. Played almost every game this year. He was on my ballot. The NBA didn't accept my ballot for the 9th straight year. It was returned in the mail, but he was on my ballot.
Yeah, you had called on this about 3/4 of the way through the season to see if he would be the #1 guy. Would the voters give Steph the benefit of the doubt? Didn't know exactly how many games Steph would play, but they got it right. He earned it. And also, let's not forget, that 3rd seed in the West, that was out of nowhere. Now, we mark them down typically because they didn't finish, him and our friend of the show, CJ, they didn't finish the regular season in the playoffs the way you'd want to. But Damian Lillard played All-NBA first-team style of basketball this season.
Absolutely.
All right, back to Game 5 between the Warriors and Rockets. Kevin Durant has been the Warriors' best scoring option during the entire postseason. However, his coach, Steve Kerr, still had some feedback for him about improving the team's offense as a whole. Listen to this.
When MJ was with the Bulls, we had a playoff game, and he kept trying to score. And he was scoring, but we weren't getting anything going. Phil Jackson said, "Who's open?" said, John Paxson, I want you to trust your teammates early. What you're doing is you're getting to the rim, and then you're trying to hit them. I want you to trust the first guy, and then move. Still attack, still look to score, but trust these guys, okay?
So those right there, those are my favorite moments of the game. When you get just an extra little look and peek into how a game is broken down.
And that was more than we usually are allowed to see on those little audio cut-ins. They usually don't let anything that be construed as negative or anything. I was surprised TNT aired that. I was very glad they aired it. Go ahead.
Yeah. What did you make of Steve Kerr's advice to KD?
It's one of the great tools that, as a former player, that you have when you have associations with other great players. It's the way Kevin Durant plays basketball. A lot of it Steve Kerr can't relate to. He can't relate to it because he didn't have that type of skill. He's a self-made guy. He's a gym rat. He's like the second coach on the field. He's going to be a sub. He's going to be a situational player. He's athletically challenged. He's height challenged. Like Kevin Durant's not those things. So what can I tell? What else do I have in my quiver to be able to get a person's attention? So it's not only how much basketball Steve Kerr knows, it's all the other stories that he's heard. Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan. These are the resources that allow you to be able to reach beyond yourself, to be like, it's not all about the coach. Right. I love the example. I believe Kevin Durant could relate to that example, and he went deep on this one. He got Michael Jeffrey Jordan, and to me, as a player, anytime you hear names like that, I believe a lot of times it helps you recognize the moment.
One of the things I found most interesting is when I used to cover football games, so we'd go to media day or whatever, practice every Wednesday and Thursday, and I'd stand on the sideline in the bubble or wherever it was, and every once in a while you'd hear a coach come up to a wide receiver and explain something, and it seems so simple. I'm like, at this point in his career, the fundamentals of catching a ball, you're going to explain to him. It was ridiculous to me. Similar to, yeah, I know, you're so great, but maybe pass the ball a little bit more. It all seems so simple, but sometimes we think it's so overcomplicated that athletes want some very, intricate, multi-layered piece of advice or something that we don't know. But at the end of the day, it's break it down, go back to the thing you know. You already know how to play the game. And maybe that's what Kevin Durant needed, something simple like try to share or throw the ball around.
Listen, I don't blame Steve Kerr for giving that piece of advice. It was good advice, but Kevin Durant didn't take it. The immediate possession after they showed this. Now, we don't know when he said that to him, but in the broadcast, they show us that. The next possession, KD gets the ball at the top, holds it for 4 seconds, takes a couple dribbles and makes a jump shot, and they show Steve Kerr, this is a great part of the producing of the broadcast, show Steve Kerr jump up off the bench and wave his hand saying, move the ball, move the ball. I mean, KD, look at KD in the wins now. No one can doubt the scoring. He has been remarkable as a scorer. He's giving you 31 points a game. 44%. That ain't great, but it's not terrible. 1 assist a game. And with him on the court, they've been outscored by 24 points. So an average of 8 points per game. That's what he's talking about. 1 assist a game in their 3 losses in this series. Overall in the series, I think he has 10 total assists. Like, he's not doing a great job on the glass because of where he's at defensively. He's not able to really help you in that way because of what his matchup is defensively. We get that. But when you're only averaging 1 assist and 31 points, and that's not the style in which your team's been successful, that's what Steve Kerr's trying to communicate to him. This isn't how we've won championships.
I don't believe it's Kevin Durant's fault, because the reason why they're going ISO and post up is because those are the sets that Steve Kerr's calling. Kevin Durant's not calling the offense. He's not coming down the court calling his number. Let's run play number 4. A lot of times you look at the players' numbers and everything. A guy calls out the number that's on his jersey. Watch out. They probably running his play. That's what the coach named it. All right. So it's a combination between the coach and the players and a style for which they're playing. When you have Iggy, who's been out the last couple games, all right, he's one of the best ball movers they have. When you have Draymond, he's one of the best passers and ball movers they have. They're not shooting the ball well. So even if Kevin throws them the ball, they're not trying to shoot the ball. We talk about Clay, what he's done. He's been off and on. And we talk about Steph. Steph's been off and on. So you can't talk about their offense without talking about all the other parts. This is the way that Steve Kerr has been calling the games. It's been very dependable going isolation to Kevin Durant. And when you ask him to go isolation, Kevin Durant's not going to have a lot of assists because isolation is to get you a bucket. To me, the test about Kevin Durant is since he came from OKC going to Golden State, has he gotten better? To me, he's gotten better. Now, in this series, they're not better as a team, but it's not his fault that they're down. And it's not his fault that his numbers are down assist-wise. It's a style. And the coach is calling more ISO. If you want the ball to move more, call more motion.
All right, let's move on to some football. I'm going to call that one motion right now.